This may seem overly simple. What is the Clinton electability argument?
Well, it has two components. There's a biographical component and there is a numbers component. The biographical component is that Barack Obama is not as vetted as Hillary Clinton is. And even though we all can imagine or have nightmares about what kind of slime the Republicans might throw against Hillary Clinton in the fall, it pales in comparison to what they might throw at Barack Obama and how damaging it would be because he's inexperienced in facing it. So that's the biographical argument. The numbers argument is that Hillary Clinton's strength in some swing states so far in the primary campaign indicates that she would be stronger against John McCain in those states than Barack Obama would. The two that she usually cites now are Ohio and Pennsylvania, but the implication is that by winning in those states that Democrats historically have to win in order to get the presidency, Hillary Clinton has shown in the primaries that she would be stronger in the general. It's a simple argument. It doesn't necessarily bear out historically. I mean, you can ask Michael Dukakis how he felt in November 1988, looking back and hugging himself, thinking how good it was that he won the Pennsylvania primary that year when he came nowhere near winning the state in the general election. But those have essentially been the two arguments she's put forward.
So if the superdelegates are party insiders who supposedly know how the system works and they understand real numbers, that the things that will be in play in November, the actual voters no longer enough for her to retake the Obama. In that context, who is Senator Clinton actually trying to reach and convince using that electability argument?
I keep wondering that myself, because God bless the voters of Indiana and North Carolina and Guam and Puerto Rico and South Dakota and Montana and everybody who's still left. Even if they were all voting on the same day, even if it was all happening right away, they still could not collectively pick a Democratic nominee. There's nothing about what will happen in Indiana that in itself is determinative about what's going to happen with this. The only way this is going to be decided, mathematically speaking, is by those remaining undeclared, undecided superdelegates. And we honestly, I mean, forget all the spin, forget all the blather you're hearing all day, every day now. We have no idea what grounds those superdelegates are going to choose to make their decisions. Are they going to be persuaded by how Indiana votes? I don't know. They might be persuaded by that. They might be persuaded by a Ouija board. They might be persuaded by any of the electability arguments coming from either camp. But there's no reason to think that the superdelegates are going to be persuaded by this. I tend to think that this is more an effort to influence the overall media climate, the overall media discussion of the race, to make it seem that there's a momentum here that might influence some of these superdelegates. But when it comes right down to it, we don't know how they'll decide.
Well, you mentioned that last topic that I wanted to bring up, not to do too much navel-gazing, because despite what we might imply, the cable networks are not going to decide the nomination, neither the broadcast ones, and we're not going to decide the election. But when Terry McAuliffe, as he has, joins Ed Rendell and Senator Clinton in praising Fox News, even if we're talking about a total of 500 votes somewhere, how in the hell is that a net plus for his candidate and not a net negative? How?
How is courting Richard Mellon Scaife a net plus for Democrats, rewarding these people who have done their best to destroy Democratic candidates? I mean, if you just think about the petty stuff that Fox News has done, the fact that the last time they hosted a Democratic presidential campaign, they referred to all the candidates as Democrat candidates. I mean, Fox News exists in part to try to destroy the Democratic Party. If you want to help them do that, that's your prerogative, I guess, but you better make a pretty good argument for why it is that that's doing your party a favor.
Yeah, unless Sean Hannity is a Democratic superdelegate, I don't think it works. Rachel Maddow of Air America and MSNBC. Thanks as ever, Rachel.
Thank you, Keith.